Calvary's Love Youth, what's up? How's everybody doing out there? John Woodrick here, and we have an amazing night planned. But before we get started, look at this amazing spread that we have, which you're going to see why we have this in a little bit. But we have a special guest, Kristine Casey, who is incredible. Can't wait for you to hear her story. And we have some really crazy videos of actually some survivors that we set up a little challenge to see who could be the next urban survivor, and you're going to see them as well too. Pretty funny. But before we get started, Alyssa and the Calvary's Love Youth Band, here we go. Every week they get better and better, seriously.
Yeah.
You're so good.
Amen.
So we have an amazing group of people here. Bella,
I'm here.
so good to have you again, and you'll see why in a minute.
Oh, no.
Kristine Casey.
Yeah.
And Kristine Casey's actually, I had like 15 Twizzlers while they were doing worship.
Sugar rush.
I know,
Sugar
I was just
rush.
like eating nonstop. Kristine Casey is actually part of Live Free, and you lead a women's 12-step program.
I do. Yeah.
Right. But before, I actually called Kristine, and I was like trying to get to know you a little bit, because I don't know you real well.
No.
And so I was just like, hey, you know, what are some hobbies? You were like, yeah, I lived in the woods for like 2
Bad
months
mistake.
of my life. And I was like,
Shouldn't have said
lived in
that.
the woods for 2 months. You even brought your nature hat with you.
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we actually did something to see if you could kind of help us out. We had a challenge for some contestants that they could submit a video.
Okay.
Next urban survivor. We want you to watch this. Tell us who you think would win and who would last in the wilderness.
All right.
Here we go. Let's check it out.
Oh, hey. My name's Bella Elliott, and I'm gonna be the
survivor. This is why. I got 2 cats, 1 husband, and I'm a missionary to the university campus. We've been out here for hours. We've been rowing upstream for hours and we've made no progress to shore. And with Jordan, Hector, Amber, Josh's arms are very sore. We've got Adriel and Anthony. We're having a hard time. I'll keep you updated. Clearly our technique is getting worse and worse as time goes on. Josh is going crazy. I think he might be cast overboard soon. Update number 3 coming shortly. We've lost him! Josh! Josh! We're losing him! Somebody jump in and get him! Hurry!
He's too cold.
We've recovered Josh. He's very cold. We think he may have hypothermia. We need to get back to shore to get him some heat packs and a space blanket. Too cold. Just the temperatures are too frigid. We are making our way back to shore. We have hope. We will not lose hope. Good news, guys. We've almost made it to shore. We're getting close. We finally reached land. Josh is currently looking to get a drink of water. We're not sure if it's safe. Ooh, driftwood. Mud. Festering with parasites. Crooked tree. Green leaf.
What's up? My name is John Widrick and I am auditioning for the Ultimate Urban Survivor. I have a very specific skill set and it's actually making a spear and hunting. Now this is a spear I already made, but I'm going to sharpen it. You want to put the spear right here, and as you sharpen, you want to get a good angle on it. I'm going to get right in there. I'm going. Come on, buddy. Come on. And if it works, my blade is breaking because it's so dang sharp. And I like to put it right in there. And you're just going to give it a... Oh, my... Oh. 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 Oh, ah. 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 All right. I'm back. I had a bit of an issue, but the spear is sharpened and I have my secondary weapon, a knife, which I had. This happens in survival. You slip sometimes but you gotta move on. Oh God. Now I'm gonna go hunt something here. Olaf, go run. I gotta catch you. I gotta hunt you for this video. Now get out there. Go on. I gotta spear you. Get out. All right. I think I hear something in the forest. I'm going this way with it. There it is. I'll catch that dog. I'll catch that dog. Come on. Come here, boy. I'm gonna eat you. Dinner. I'm gonna eat you. Oh, yeah. I'm coming. Oh, yeah. You're coming today. Oh. Oh. God dang it. Okay. He's eating me. He's eating me.
Alright, my name is Brutus and I'm from Cleveland, California, and this is why I should be the ultimate survivor. Yeah. So this is how you make a fire. First, get your stick, and you want to make sure it's about knee length stick, Okay? And then you get your rubbing stick and you start rubbing like this. And it takes a bit, but you just keep rubbing till you feel the sparks go. Till you feel the sparks. Cletus, get out the frame.
What you doing, birdies?
Try to make a fire.
A fire? I'll be back.
Where you going? Anyways, so what you do is you keep on rubbing until you catch a flame. Once you've got your fire started.
Cletus, I got the gasoline.
Cletus, go. Get there. And that, folks, is why I should be the ultimate survivor.
That's why we should be the ultimate survivors. With an S. Oh, we had to turn it off. How do we stop this thing, Cletus? That's it. End it there.
Yeah.
Well, hello.
Well, hello.
All right, so you saw our I almost said revivalist.
That's
Our
okay
survivalists. Who do you think won?
Well,
Me.
I will say the winner has to be Olaf.
Olaf!
No, Olaf
the
just
dog.
gets my vote because he was the cutest and the only one willing to fend for food other than the real winner, Bella. She ate a leaf.
She
Who
did.
knows if it was poisonous
So
or
our
not?
real winner is who?
Bella.
Bella.
Thank
All
you.
right. Give it up for Bella.
Survivalist.
You
Count
make it out in the
yourself
wild. I gotta get rid of this thing. Dropping me. Dang you.
I just want to say
Whatever
I
that
did put
is.
my heart and soul into that video.
Yeah.
I could tell.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right. So, all right, that's good. So Bella, speaking
Okay.
of you,
I'm
which I think it's interesting that you chose her because Bella, actually, she was actually on our show last week. She was let me rewind. She was on our show last week with Chi Alpha because her and her
Yes.
husband are Chi Alpha missionaries speaking to the university.
Shout out Jordan.
Shout out Jordan. And we invited you to be a co-host here on Calvary's Love Youth Live.
Dude,
So she'll be
honored.
here every week now, which we're super excited about because she's so fun. We love her. But obviously, we can't just let you on without having some type of initiation. And being that it is a survivalist show, I called Kristine. I was like, Kristine, what do you recommend that we give to Bella? So this is totally her fault.
I don't
Yeah,
It's
I
actually
take
not
the
true.
blame.
It's not
I
true.
take the blame.
All right, so here's what I have for you, Bella. Can crickets. You have to eat all of them.
No!
Can in the mouth.
I can't
No,
eat
you don't
all
have to
of
eat all of them. You
Oh,
don't
you
have
have
to.
a spoon.
You don't have to eat all of them. You
Okay.
have to eat one. Okay.
Okay.
This is really gross because actually it's ideal for reptiles, birds, or fishing.
Okay.
And never buy live food again. Ever. Okay.
Never.
Okay.
And the thing that's really gross is it says natural juices.
Okay.
Ooh. Yum.
Locked in the can.
I'm gonna plug my nose when he opens
and it comes with
this.
this little like spoon. Like you can be like,
Like one of those little ice creams.
Yeah.
Yes.
In, like,
So here we go.
Elementary school.
do you want to be the one to open it and
I
get the
think-
first reaction?
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll let you open it. Here you go. Because I'm interested to see what it looks like too. Because
Don't forget to use your spoon.
yes. Did you have to eat crickets when you were out in the wild?
You know what? Thank goodness I never had
I'm
to
afraid
eat
you're gonna, like,
cricket.
spray it
Don't
everywhere.
spray the cricket. Oh!
Oh wow, that is so
You guys, should I smell it?
right there.
Bella.
Let me see. Let me see.
They smell like pickles.
Wait, no.
Let me see if they can see
Oh,
that.
because they're
That
like
is
vinegar, so they're
It smells like
pickled,
olives.
raw.
pickled
Those
beets.
are really big.
Let me smell. Can I smell?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
glad
yeah.
you chose her to do this and not me, because that would be mean if I was to have you do that.
That does not smell like pickles.
It smells like
The locked
olives.
juices
All
are
right,
in the
I'm
can.
gonna
All right,
eat
so you're gonna eat
one.
one. Here we
Okay.
go.
This is for the kingdom, you guys.
Kingdom.
Wait,
Jesus
for the
is like
kingdom.
looking
The
down.
kingdom
It's
will
like you don't have to do it, Bella.
Oh,
I'm scared.
Ah!
Count me down from 3. Ready?
3, 2, 1, go.
no! No!
Oh my
Dude, you got
gosh.
this. You
How
got
bad
this.
was it? Was it bad? Don't tell me it was
Olives?
The aftertaste is worse.
Okay.
good. Yeah. The crunch
Here,
was it crunchy?
have a gummy bear. I mean, worm.
Yeah, cover it up with a gummy worm.
It tastes
some
like an
dirt.
olive at first, but then it tastes like dog food, like the wet kind.
Here you go.
Oh,
Does that look
wait,
appetizing?
ooh,
Yeah. Honestly, yes, please.
Honestly, that.
So check
I want
this
that.
out. Alyssa, believe
I
it or
in?
not. You were in.
Yeah, for the
absolutely.
kingdom,
I
yeah.
mean, you were 100%,
Yeah.
without a doubt. That was amazing.
Wow.
And I'm
She's
actually
great.
going to see if we can get some of these people at the end of the show to do this. So stick around. But Alyssa, believe it or not, actually, she went on a missions trip to Thailand.
Oh, yeah.
And
Awesome.
she actually ate a cockroach that was like
Gigantic.
ginormous, like legs hanging out of her mouth,
Yeah. Really
Like-
crunched in there.
bite in half,
Oh, yeah.
green. Yeah.
She's so brave.
We have a video,
Yeah.
so we're going to watch
Let's
this.
watch it.
Here we go. Check this out.
Okay, Liz is gonna try the big cockroach. Can you show it to the camera? Turn it around.
Like, put it up
Ooh.
next to your face so they can see how big it is.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, dry.
Try it.
Okay.
Oh, look at the cream coming out of the bottom. No, don't throw it. Not in that.
Dude, that cockroach was literally the size of this cup. And she was just like it was a lobster.
I'm just gonna say this,
All those-
and I haven't said this to Alyssa, but whatever guy she marries, I mean, he's gonna have to be like the strongest guy
That's what I'm saying.
in the world because
We're talking
she's the
Paul
toughest
Bunyan.
chick. She can
Yeah.
lift more than I can.
Wow.
She could beat me up, and
Go
she
Alyssa.
Can, I know it's.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought I was tough until I met Alyssa, and then I realized how long I.
She's like tough and then also the
Like
most gentle.
beautiful.
Like when I work out, I'm like, Alyssa could do better than me.
Motivation.
She'd be like killing it and then
What
she'd
would she
come over
say
and
to
be
me
like,
right
"Bro,
now? You're a loser.
You're doing so
Yeah.
good. You're
Yeah.
doing so good.
I know.
Yeah, it took me 2 weeks to get to this point. You'll get it.
You'll get there.
No
She is a
worry.
great motivator for
It's
sure.
true.
We love you, Alyssa.
You're the
You're
best.
amazing.
You're the best.
All right, so we have our winner of our survival challenge. We initiated
I think
our
that's-
new co-host as well too, Bella.
Eating
And-
the cricket solidified that.
Thank you.
Yes, for sure. And then Kristine Casey here in the house, and so
Yes.
we have some questions for you because you've had a crazy journey. I mean, this whole theme that we're doing and everything is your story, that how you were out in the wild, these
Yeah.
things hanging. You lived out in the wild
Yeah.
for how long?
62 days.
62 days.
Wow.
Totally in the wild, which we'll get back to in a minute. But
Yeah.
before we do that, she can actually make rope out of anything,
Yeah. Well, I was
semi anything.
taught how to make rope out of tree bark.
Okay.
Wow.
And so I've just really taken up the ability to do so in like restaurants, entertaining my family and friends.
Yeah.
You know, like, look, watch this, guys. So paper towel should do the trick.
Yeah, let's do
All right,
it.
cool.
Yeah.
So we're gonna make rope while we talk.
Okay.
You can
Okay.
teach us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So you tell
That's-
me when
Yeah,
you.
that's probably great.
Okay.
Probably right about here is good.
All right. That's
So,
what about 16
yeah.
feet.
2 feet. 2 feet's probably good.
We're going to use
2 of
this
my
to
feet?
scale the building.
If it's 2 of my feet, I gotta go like all the way.
Oh, wow, John. Overachiever.
I want to take this rope home and do like lasso my children with it.
Okay, all right.
All right. So here we
Well,
go.
wait. Can you leave that up here, John? Do you mind?
Nope, not at all.
Because I just want to just to prove what the rope out of the paper towel
Mm-hmm.
is. Like, okay, you take a paper towel and it's like very easily torn apart, right?
Right. Right. Okay.
So
So
when
you need more.
yeah, I do.
Gotcha.
Sorry,
That's
I
okay.
didn't prepare for
You don't have to
this.
apologize.
Yeah. So when you make rope out of it, it'll be able to withstand that tug.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, so
Gotcha.
so simply we're gonna start by just kind of thinning it out.
Okay.
Because essentially you're gonna just twist.
Oh.
Twist. We're just
Uh-huh.
twisting from
So-
the middle.
Yep, from the middle. So
Okay.
you're gonna twist. Ooh, sorry guys.
Oh, I thought we were supposed to turn too.
Yeah.
didn't know
No,
if that
I'm
was part of
turning
the
to you so
technique.
that you can see.
Ah.
So I'm twisting my left hand forward and my right hand backward.
Oh,
Towards
see, I was
me.
gonna go the other way.
Okay.
Okay.
And you kind of want to get. So essentially, what you would do in the wild.
In the wild.
But by the wild, I mean the Smoky Mountains, Blue
Oh.
Ridge area.
Okay.
Rich, come on, they always get snow days. It's not even fair.
I
It's
was
not
there
fair.
from October 30th till December 23rd.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we just keep twisting.
Yep. So I would get
My
probably
forearm's
about
hurt already.
like 10
I'm
inches.
such a loser.
Well, you
Alyssa
kind-
shames me right
You're
now.
a winner. You're a winner, John.
I believe in you. Just
Okay.
kind of like get it started so
Oh,
that it's
okay.
easier to maneuver
Oh,
as
gotcha.
you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
Bella, you're already better than me at this. I knew I picked a good survivalist.
All right. So I'm gonna ask you a question while we do this.
Yeah.
All right.
please.
So tell us where you grew up. I mean, where are you from? I
Okay.
guess.
Cool. So I kind of grew up a little bit of everywhere. I would say I was born right here in Johnson City, right there at Wilson Hospital.
Oh yeah, that's yep.
Right there.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Were you really?
Yeah.
You were born in Wilson Hospital?
Yeah.
Dude, that's
Was.
crazy.
1993,
My wife
right?
works there.
Blizzard of 93.
Yeah, I
Really?
know. I
Entrance,
just had.
yep.
Get out of here.
I was Blizzard in '91. Almost got stuck in the ambulance.
You guys both were born in
Yes.
blizzards.
Yeah,
You
February
guys are like
15th.
blizzard sisters.
Yeah, Bella, that's great.
Oh wow, yeah. I think I'm
I
doing
just
too
had
much
my
talk.
second son at Wilson, so it's kind of like a euphoric experience.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. So, yeah,
My
born
hand is
here,
cramping.
raised here, kind of. I moved a lot growing up, so
Okay.
very toxic, unstable home. My parents got divorced when I was 2, and I lived primarily with my mom. My dad traveled the world with his job, so my dad, with that, wanted me to stay with my mom for stability. But she struggled a lot while I was growing up, so we were always bouncing around from apartment to apartment,
Right.
and there was just really no consistency. So pretty much my whole adolescence, I was bouncing around, 16 different schools.
16 different schools.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
11 different states.
That's probably why you're
Wow.
so like outgoing and great at making friends now.
And
Yeah.
rope.
Because you always
And
had
rope.
And rope.
Yeah.
It definitely, like in hindsight, there's so many things that I'm grateful for. But in the moment, it was like really
Yeah,
tough.
it is tough. I switched schools a ton too, which you and I were talking about
Yeah.
a little bit earlier. But yeah, that is really tough. I didn't do 16, but
Yeah.
I did like 5.
Well, it eventually landed me in my, my position of 4 different high schools within my freshman year.
Wow.
Being a girl and,
Yeah.
having to move schools, like I cared more about making friends than getting good grades. And eventually I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. And I dropped out when I was 15.
Wow.
Wow.
So essentially only an 8th grade education
Wow.
because I dropped out my freshman year.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
that's awesome in the sense that like you knowing what you do now and what
Right.
you're working toward now
Yeah.
is a really cool story, which you'll hear about in a little bit. And I think whenever I remember when I actually did the same thing my senior year because I jumped around so much, so I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm out, homeschool the rest of the year, and
Yeah.
see you later.
Yeah,
Because I was like not doing it anymore.
it's hard.
What landed you? So you were bouncing around tons. What landed you to where you ended up like having to go in the woods?
Yeah.
Survival.
Where you were survival? Was that just like, hey, I'm going on a mission trip, or hey, I'm like, why were you there?
Not a mission trip, not yet.
But kind of.
Really quickly, before I get into that, do you mind if I show
Oh
you
yes,
what's
give
next?
us another.
Okay, so step
How
2.
does mine look?
It looks actually amazing, way
Oh.
better than mine. So you can see
Wow,
that
I
I've got some
beat
carelessness going on. Yeah, Bella, you better step up your game. Okay, so
All
like
right, Bella.
find the middle again,
Okay.
and you're gonna kind of twist with like some aggression now. Okay, so right in the middle,
Okay.
you're gonna twist to make like your
So like
top,
think of all the angry people.
the people that you still resent. Yeah.
I can't admit that on.
You don't need to tell me, just harbor it
Oh,
in your
okay,
mind.
gotcha.
Okay, so
I
you're
don't-
gonna
All right.
you're going to have the top
You're like the Sith
little
Lord.
loop here,
Oh, okay.
and you're gonna hold pressure on that with your whatever fingers you choose.
Got it.
Okay.
And then you're gonna take this side, the right side,
Okay.
and continue to make that extremely tight, and do the same to the left. It kind of is
Okay.
uncomfortable holding it,
My thumb is
but
like,
you're gonna wanna like twist. When you twist, kind of like cross, like make a T, and make sure that each side is really tight when you do so.
Oh, I'm twisting at this like
You're- so-
both at the same time.
oh, you're twisting them around each other?
Kind of. So you're crossing one over the other. So,
So
like the
cro-
left.
So cross
Twisting.
and then
I'm
twist.
not a teacher, you guys.
You are. You're doing great. So twist and cross.
Twist and cross. Yeah.
I'm twisting.
Got it. Okay.
Bella, great job.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. So
Okay. So.
I'm gonna keep
okay,
twisting
so-
and crossing
so
as
the-
you.
The instability
twister
led
inside
to, me being broken. And I had a lot of things that growing up, I wanted to be somebody I wasn't. I wanted so badly to fit in with the other kids. My sister and brother are 10 and 9 years older than me, so I
Oh,
pretty
wow.
much was raised like an only child.
Okay.
My sister got married and pregnant at 17, so shout out to my sis. She's one of my best friends and an amazing mother.
Does she live local?
Yeah, Vesta.
cool.
She's super
Yep.
cool. She's a writer.
Yeah,
Is
she
she?
is. She's an author,
What?
an editor. Yep.
What kind of stuff does she write?
Uh,
I mean, we'll come back to that.
Well,
Either shout out, sis. Either way, shout out.
shout out.
We're proud of you.
Yeah, she's got Leo right now.
That's awesome.
So I was raised kind of like an only child, and I was seeking outside validation, you know.
Right.
So I was really just wanting, like I said, to fit in. I was really lacking a sense of home, a sense of peace, a sense of comfort or identity, and you know, my mom and I have made amends and have a great relationship now, and I can
Nice.
say this freely, but my mom was really struggling a lot while I was young, so she didn't really have much to offer me. So I was looking to everything outside of my home for the things
Right.
that, you know, you would typically find inside of a home.
Right.
So when I was 15, my mom sent me away to a home for troubled teens. It was on one of the Finger Lakes in upstate New York, and it was Bible-based, but it was ran by someone who essentially it was kind of like a cult. So I'll leave.
Oh,
It
wow.
was really intense. And
My hand is sweating.
Your
your
hand is sweating? Okay.
Okay. So when I got sent away, I kind of resented my mom, right?
Yeah.
And I was like really angry at her for sending me away. So I started to rebel and got into, you know, partying and drugs and boys and
Right.
and all of these exciting things for a 15-year-old that, you know, I was just rebelling. So when I got home from that, I went off the deep end, and my parents were like, nope, this isn't happening. So they sent me to a place called Phoenix Outdoor Program, and
Okay.
it was a wilderness program. And that's where I
Here we
went
are.
for 62 days. And this is how this
And
happened.
you had your rope up there, hanging food.
Yep, hanging our food
See
in
any
trees.
bears or
Tracks,
tracks?
no bears.
Okay. Any weird like it when you're at night and because I'm tented?
Yep, tent, yep.
Okay, tent.
Roommate in your tent?
Roommate.
Oh, yeah, there were 5 of us.
Ooh.
Yep.
That's a lot of people in a tent.
Yeah.
Yep, and it was very regimented.
Yeah.
You know, you had like, oh goodness, like 5 minutes to get your tents up,
Yeah.
5 minutes to put them away, you know, putting on frozen boots to go hike the next
Wow.
day, wet boots.
62 days.
62 days straight.
Just no like, hey, we're gonna
No
stop
breaks.
and get a quick gas station
Yep.
beef jerky.
No.
Which, by the way, you
Great.
can get good beef jerky at
Oh,
a
yeah.
gas station.
Oh,
in case
100%.
anyone just judged me
Especially
right
out in the
Wild Bills.
Blue Ridge.
now. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I
It's probably
love beef
authentic
jerky.
out there.
I like it so much. I'm gonna eat this.
You're rope, John.
I have no idea, but I do love beef jerky. I can throw it out. Like if it's, I don't even buy it because I'm just like,
It's
and it's so expensive. Yes, it
Yeah.
is. It's like, what do you put in this? But
Yeah.
it's so good too.
Yeah.
I love it too much. Anyways, sorry.
No, you're
That, I
fine.
went
No,
way
I'm-
out on there.
Absolutely. I didn't learn how to like. So the thing about it is I didn't know what time it was.
Yeah.
We didn't handle the compasses. You know, our leaders at the time
Yeah.
did. So I got to learn like where the sun is. You know, and
Oh.
kind of like.
That's why
learn
you
how to
chose
do
Bella
that.
for her to be the best urban survivor. Dang, nice
So,
rope.
I know you did a really
Look
good
at
job.
mine.
Val.
I'm like, I actually was in the program.
All right, who's
So I was like, that's how we met.
rope? Where we are in our rope making. So that is really
yeah,
good.
Bella did actually
It's
a
all right.
really phenomenal job. Not surprised. I knew
I took
I
a
had
couple
good
of back-
intuition.
Mine looks like I
John,
just like
Just
like
try
plunged
and
a
rip
toilet,
it. Just,
like pulled
yeah.
out the.
Yeah.
I got the
Like,
clog, honey. Unclog the toilet, honey.
So can you rip it? Like, do you think it'll hold any like bags of food in the woods? Belle, can you?
I'm gonna go with no.
No, pull on Belle's. Like,
All
take
right.
take one on
Here,
and Belle.
you pull
Yeah,
too.
no, pull. Ooh,
Wow.
see? Yeah. So you can
Well, that's
essentially make rope out of
That is-
anything.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, isn't that
Unless
pretty
you
cool?
have me make it for you.
So
That's
like
not
mine
gonna
is
work.
like really
Oh yeah,
hard.
yours is really.
Yeah,
And-
yeah.
Dude,
That's
you
the-
really did
that's the
take
real
out. Who were
stuff.
you thinking of when you twisted that? Don't tell me. She's like, her anger is like.
I'm actually breaking a sweat, so I need to
Oh,
get powder in my
man.
nose.
good.
There was none of that in the woods.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so last question.
Okay.
So you had this experience where
Mm-hmm.
your parents sent you off. You said like, "Hey, party scene, doing this." 16 different schools. Where, like, I know you and I were talking, and like now you're like going to potentially go to get your bachelor's in ministry, going into full-time ministry. You with SUM, which is amazing. Shout out Tara Terry
Yeah.
for SUM. She's amazing. If you want to know more about SUM, let us know. We'll hook you up. It's great.
Absolutely.
And so you're doing that, which is great, and that's coming up. And then also you have 12-step program that you're leading for women right now. How
Yeah.
did you, like, where did God intervene to where all of a sudden it's like, hey, here's Kristine now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't happen after the Woods program.
Out
The Woods
there.
program.
Feel like it was last week.
Yeah. So about yesterday. No, I'm just kidding.
that's
God
funny.
really intervened when I was 20 years old. So I went to that program when I was 16.
Yeah.
And continued to, live a life led by self and seeking outside things for, comfort and validation. But when I was 20 years old, I had a moment where it was, a turning point for me. And I was on my mom's living room floor, and I cried out on my knees. The only thing I could get out, I physically couldn't say anything other than God. And from that moment, I've been sober ever since that moment, which was October 11th, 9 years. Well, this year will be 9 years.
Wow, congratulations.
Yay.
Yeah.
You're supposed to
Thank
clap with
you.
me, dog. Jeez.
I was so into it. I was beyond clapping.
I judge you.
I was about to cry.
I judge you,
And
new
you made me
co-host.
clap.
I was about to cry and you made me
clapping.
clap instead.
You said cry while you're crapping.
You can do that too. That's
John
possible.
is with that toilet paper.
I know. There it is. Oh, my gosh, that's amazing.
So that moment, a series of events have happened since then,
Yeah.
some good, some bad. But it ultimately, God has always put a passion on my heart and put this turning inside of me that I knew that I was meant for so much more, and that He had
That's
so much
good.
more for me. And God's really been able to use all these broken places in my life, drug addiction and divorce and single parenthood, to really have a platform to really just be able to reach so many people. And it's such a blessing to be able to identify,
Yeah.
and God's got me through it all, and things that don't make sense happen in my life all the time, you know,
Right.
and God has just provided over and over and over again. And the thing is it took me a long time to really surrender, to God's will for my life.
Right.
I realized that he let me feel enough pain. I kept going back for more. Like, is this still hot there?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
it? Are you sure?
Sure.
But now it's really a blessing to be in Live Free. Getting to work with women who addiction on all levels. Whether it be a food addiction or just something that is becoming an idol in your life instead of
Right.
God, where it's like the physical and the flesh is so hard to fight off, and it's so nice to have a community where we can come and fight that together, and where I can lead these girls through a real solution
Right.
that ultimately is Jesus, but
Right.
but these things that lead you to a personal relationship with Jesus that
Yeah.
really
That's
is
good.
the ultimate change.
Yeah, and I like what she said too, because Bella, how long? Because you have a pretty crazy story too,
Yeah.
which is good. And I know my wife, same thing. Like even in my life, same thing as well too. And I think a lot of times when it comes to us saying that, hey, we come to this point, breaking point where we're
Yeah.
like, God, I need you in my life.
Yeah.
This is it. A lot of times people from the outskirts, looking in, will say well, hey, you had this moment with God. How come you're still struggling? How come you
Right.
still made mistakes? And it's
Yeah.
it's not that easy.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely does God do this miraculous thing in our life? Yeah, but there's we're human
Totally.
beings and we
Human
make
condition.
mistakes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And we're on this road of sanctification where we're
Right.
slow
Yeah.
coming like Jesus, right?
And it's like a continual surrender
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
sanctification, like you said, is
Right.
a process. So it's continuing to come to the feet of Jesus over and over after we make
Amen.
mistakes and after
Yeah.
we do great things too,
Yeah.
but continuing to lay things down that are
Yeah.
in the way of our sight, and
Right.
So
our
good.
sight should be on Him.
So good.
So where do you think
Well, I
God
started-
is calling you now, or
I
next?
almost started crying right there. I was like, "Oh,
Really
God."
intense. He's crying while he's crapping.
I promise I'm not doing that back here, even though I'm sitting down.
I think that even with that, lovely talk, I'm called to, full-time ministry. SUM is going to be a great next step for me.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. I don't know how it's going to look
Yeah.
for me as, single mom of 2 to go to school full-time, but that's the place where I'm really excited to watch God work and just
Yeah.
show up in ways that I get to be like, it was God, not
Yeah.
me.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
full-time ministry, hopefully leading to a place where I can have eventually women's ministry where I'm inside, you know, either creating a home or an atmosphere where people could be safe from domestic violence, sex trafficking, addiction, things like that. That's really the vision that I have. So
that's amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, Kristine Casey.
So
Yes,
it's an amazing
thank
story.
you.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, if you're watching here today, and we always want to encourage you to know that we're here for you, because we really are. Like, we all hang out, we have a good time here, but it's for a purpose. And so no matter where you are, if you want to message us, we will directly message you back. And if maybe you're here and you're like, hey, I need help. There are some addictions that I have and I really need help. No matter what they are, honestly, it's like a total judge-free zone, because we all have things that we're going through.
Totally.
So if that's you, please message in. And also, if you just like need prayer for something right now and you're watching, just comment. You can, like I said, you can direct message us on Facebook, Calvary's Love Youth Live. And YouTube right now, there's leaders on, there's people there. Comment away. And while we do this, Alyssa's going to play a quick song for us. And as she does that, I just want to encourage you, take a few minutes, search your heart. And we're praying here that the Holy Spirit touches you and really points you to Jesus as the Lord of your life.
Awesome. Leah.
I close my eyes to see my King in majesty. In you, I know I'm found. My God, to you I bow. 'Cause now until forever, Jesus, I surrender. Show me what I don't know, more of you. I'm desperate for your presence, longing to be with you. Lead me to a new place, more of you. And through the fight, I'll persevere. I won't submit to any fear. Where I go, you've been before. And all my trust is in you, Lord. Is now until forever. Jesus, I surrender. Show me what I don't know, more of you. I'm desperate for your presence, longing to be with you. Lead me to a new place, more of you. 'Cause now until forever, Jesus, I surrender. Show me what I don't know, more of you. I'm desperate for your presence, longing to be with you. Lead me to a new place, more of you. Lead me to you forever, Lord. I will pursue. I will pursue. You want my heart, Jesus. You're all that I would, all that I would. Oh, lead me to you forever, Lord. I will pursue. I will pursue. You want my heart, Jesus. You're all that I would, all that I
All right. So thank you guys for coming out.
Yeah. Thanks for
How are the dirt and worms?
Really good.
So good.
Yeah,
Yeah. Whoever
Chef
chefed
Adri.
these up, Adri.
really good.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
big shout out to, I have to say, and this is not planned, but I have to say this. We are so thankful for Adriel and Josh Elliott.
Amen.
So look up Josh Elliott,
brother.
for Alyssa, for everybody. Your brother, right? Everybody that makes this happen. If you were behind scenes, as you maybe on Instagram, if you've seen us behind scenes, these guys do an incredible job. So
Yeah.
we're thankful for everybody that makes this happen, and this amazing spread right here. It's so
Yeah.
good.
Right?
And Kristine, Casey, thanks for coming
thanks
out.
for having me.
Yeah, you sound
Yeah.
like so professional. Christine, Casey.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. It's good.
You guys want a cricket?
No,
No.
but we may be doing some on Instagram Live,
Yeah.
I think.
Whoa.
So if you're watching, you can head over there probably in a little bit. We might get a little crazy.
Tossing them in the.
I know. But next week we actually have a special friend of mine, and is actually a police officer.
Ooh.
I know, and so he's going to be joining us, and
Yeah.
I'm hoping I get tased live. That's my goal.
I'm hoping that.
Tased for mission.
We're gonna make
I'll
that
be
happen.
believing
Yeah.
that for you, John.
I know.
Praying for that. Yeah.
You guys might have to pray for me
Yeah.
if it happens. I'll be like, oh, I'll be up. Anyways, next week's gonna be a great week. We love you guys. We miss you. Hope you're doing well. And we out.
Love you guys.
All right.
Dude,
So,
did I really
Twizzlers.
eat a cricket?
Yes.
Good. And you're gonna eat more.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Those are.
They're so